Hey everyone, this is your girl Coteria, and welcome back to my channel, My Opinion Blog. Yes, it's very late, okay, but remember, it's a holiday tomorrow, 4th of July, so I'm on these YouTube streets, and I am gathering, okay, and I'm watching all this tea be spilleth on these YouTube streets about the TGIF debacle, Fox Soul drama, and now it's been canceled. Now, I did a video, like I said, about a couple of hours ago regarding the cancellation of TGIF show that's on the network Fox Soul, which has hosts Armon Wiggins, Claudia Praises, and also Reynolds. Okay, so the three trios cannot get along, and I feel like it was a lot of behind the scenes, just things that were not settled amongst the hosts. It was a lot of backstabbing. It was a lot of, two-faced. It was playing each other face, smiling in front of the camera. And they were just, getting along for the sake of the show and their job. But then when the cameras are turned off and they're in the, reality in the real world, they were on the phone, pillow talking amongst each other, being messy. Oh, did you see how this person looked at you while we was on live? Or you see how this person cut you off or overtalked you? So I'm pretty sure Al, probably reached out to Armon Wiggins first once he became the permanent, host, and they start getting really acquainted on the phone. And like I said, Armon is that type of associate. He's really easygoing and he's easy to talk to. So he'll definitely, like I said, listen to you, pour your heart out, spill your tea. He's like your confidant. But he has ill intentions behind it, such as I'm going to sit up there and gather all your tea, and when you piss me off, then I'm going to tell it to the ops. Okay, so if you don't know how Armon move, you're sadly mistaken, because you see what he does to the rap girls. You kind of see how he gets their tea, and then he go back and forth and pillow talk and tell one about the other. So it's kind of crazy for Reynolds and Claudia Jordan to even befriend or become acquainted or associates with a Armon Wiggins, knowing his messy past. Is all over the YouTube streets. It's all over social media. It's not hard to look up Armon and him falling out with a lot of people on YouTube, for them to kind of like turn a new leaf with him and be so open and transparent and trusting a Armon Wiggins. I also feel that Armon Wiggins, basically, he kind of was blindsided by a lot of the things that were already brewing before he, came to TGIF, Fox Soul Network. It was already things that was already conflicted among Claudia Jordan and Reynolds that we're finding out now that this stems from when Funky Dineva was there. I didn't know Claudia and Al kind of had a back and forth or disagreement, or Al was being messy, talking about Claudia to Funky Dineva behind her back, because this is what basically Claudia was talking about on the Carlos King interview, which I'm going to get into. So basically what I got from the Claudia Jordan and Carlos King interview is that she was basically venting, and it looked like she was just trying to get a little bit of sympathy and payola from the audience, the viewers. She wanted them to see her in a different light, such as a mellow, calm demeanor, non-confrontational, not over talking anybody, or being an HBIC of TGIF, because remember, she is the executive producer. She's the one that starts off the show. She's the lead host on the show. So she's always kind of like in that leadership role when it comes down to Reynolds and Armon Wiggins, you know what I'm saying? So basically they feel like she, controls the whole narrative, which she does, because she starts off the segment and she kind of introduces what they're going to talk about. But anywho, so Carlos King, she was just kind of venting that people always blame her. Anything that goes wrong with Fox, so even with Funky Dineva when he was there, when he was a permanent host, all the blame went on Claudia. She's always a punching bag. People always, throw, the baggage on her, and she has to bear it. You understand? She feel like it's not fair. She don't know why people look at her in a negative light, why people always blame her, because she don't do anything but try to get along with people and help, minorities and the black folks like her, get on top and stay on top and basically put money in their pockets, is what she said. She also said she tried to help black women in these spaces, because it's hard for black women to break through in Hollywood, in production and stuff like that. And so that's what she was kind of saying, you know what I'm saying? She also was saying that a lot of people like to throw the rock or throw dirt and hide their hand, basically without saying a name, but she was alluding to Al Reynolds. A lot of what the interview was about is just what Al Reynolds been doing, behind the scenes. He's been pillow talking, just being a chaos demon, starting stuff, being a backstabber, two-faced, telling everybody business, going back to certain people, telling them, information about what Claudia discussed with him. Just like I said, being messy is what I got from this. You understand? But Al Reynolds know how to be cordial and professional. He knows how to be a professional, gay, messy man. Okay? And this is kind of what Claudia was kind of alluding to. Like Al plays a major part in what has been going on with TGIF, with productions behind the scenes, complaints, work grievance, regarding the co-host. Al is the main, source and common denominator when it comes down to the workplace problems, is what basically Claudia was saying in so many words, okay? The interview was pretty long. I'm not going to be able to break down everything, but like I said, she just was like, she wants to tell her side without throwing someone under the bus, because she said she's trying to save her baby, her show. She really wants to save the show. Now, mind you, we just found out today, a couple of hours ago, she posted it first to her IG, and then Armon Wiggins posted the second. Al Reynolds have not said anything. You know what I'm saying? He's been very quiet during this whole debacle that started like 2 weeks ago. Even when he did a live a couple of days ago, even though the title of the live was misleading and it was to get viewers to tune in and to see what he's going to say, to see if he's going to drag Claudia or he's going to say anything about TGIF Fox. So he did not. He did not really want to allude to anything when it come down to the show. It's just that it was a lot of just, complications with the show and just misunderstandings, and they had their differences in so many words. Al he's a stand-up classy guy on the screen, on the live, in the public. I do think that Al could definitely give off some nasty work behind the scene. I do think he's very condescending, he's conniving. And I do think Al could be very two-faced, but he knows how to play the game. And this is what I said in my previous video. You got to know how to remain cordial and professional. Even when you're in a tough situation or all the odds against you or stacked against you, even though you may be the one that's a gossip queen, outside of the workplace, among co-workers and friends, that's fine. Because you're not on the job doing it. So, it can affect how your co-hosts treat you and look at you. It can when you work with that person, but Al was doing this, like I said, he wasn't doing this on TGIF clock or Fox Soul clock. He was doing this off the clock. Okay, him, stirring the pot, being messy and being a gossip queen, pillow talking to his friends and co-workers and Hollywood industry friends. He had every right to do that because he was not on TGIF clock. But the things that happen behind the scene, it can cause riffraff and it can cause people to clash heads while they're working, amongst each other. And like I said, whatever information that Al told Armon about Claudia, it was very detrimental because it, made Armon Wiggins not want to communicate with Claudia Jordan once they were done, filming, doing their live on TGIF. She said she tried to reach out to him. He wouldn't pick up and she couldn't understand why. Until, like I said, one day he decided to pick up, and then the day he picked up Claudia's phone call, they had a very, very long conversation. So a lot of lies or untruth got exposed, and I'm pretty sure they sent each other text messages about what Al might have told Armon and Claudia. So they put two to two together. And I'm pretty sure they confronted Al, and Al is that kind of person. I think how Al operates is that once you back him in the corner and he has nowhere to go, this is when he's going to go run to production and probably say, I feel that Claudia and Armon is working against me. They're trying to bully me and they're doing such and such and such. I think that's what happened with Al. I think Al started the mess, and he, is a little, ish starter. You know what I'm saying? In so many words. But then, like I said, when all the heat is brought on him behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, he's going to run to production and kind of like cry wolf and saying that, oh my God, they're bullying me. They're trying to come against me. They're doing this. And yes, it's going to make the workplace very hostile. Okay, because now we see that you're trying to get two people who have to work alongside each other to fall out behind the scenes. You understand? While you sit up there gracefully and play dumb and stupid like you don't know what's going on or what you said to these two individuals to cause them to, to kind of fall out. But now that they came together and they see that you're the common denominator, you're the problem. So yeah, now, Al is going to beat them to the punch and go to human resources and complain before Claudia and Armon. And that probably did happen. And this is why Armon was kind of saying that, he's making the workplace very, uncomfortable, very difficult. And he's trying to kind of get the show canceled because he keeps on complaining about minor things. We even see, when all this started happening weeks ago, I wasn't really watching the show. I haven't watched it in so many months. But it had made me go back and watch a couple of episodes just to see the chemistry. And you can see where sometimes, Al can overtalk Claudia. And she was getting so annoyed. You can see her gestures, her eye gestures, and how she was just like so annoyed with him cutting her off. And you can see the little slide. And you can see the facial expression that Al was giving when it came out of Claudia. So you can see that it was some type of tension. The chemistry was not there like how it was when Armon became the permanent host. You can tell the chemistry shifted. So like I said in the interview, it seems like Claudia's like, look, I'm taking all the blame. Everybody's blaming me for the show being canceled or on hiatus. Everybody's blaming me for basically putting a battery in Armon Wiggins' back, and I didn't do so. I still stand by what I said. I think Claudia did feed Armon Wiggins a lot of information about Al. Once the cat got out of the bag, that Al kind of fed Armon information about Claudia. So she kind of like threw dirt on Al back because he did it to her first. And so I think once Armon Wiggins found out what Al was doing and how he was being two-faced and he was twisting lies, probably truth and a lie. So, basically Claudia fed Armon Wiggins certain information about Al, what to be careful with, and he's a liar, And so I feel like Armon took a lot of that information and basically incorporated in his Al birthday roast, which again, in my opinion, it was not a roast and a gag. It was more like a complaint or a grievance, or just venting his frustrations, with Al regarding the workplace environment, okay? And he succeeded. He embarrassed and humiliated Al, on his birthday. And like I said, this caused most of the people in the United States, worldwide to react and make videos, leave comments, and respond to what had happened, what was said. And this is what caused the show to be canceled. One of the reasons why the show was canceled. Claudia also admitted that the show was on an incline once Funky Dineva left. They were struggling to try to gain a footing. You know what I'm saying? Like the numbers was kind of like going down rapidly. So that's why they end up calling T.S. Madison and getting certain, guest hosts on there to bring the numbers up. But remember, T.S. Madison could not fulfill that permanent host position. She got her own little gigs going on. You understand? So Claudia did admit that the show was on an incline tremendously. The numbers wasn't doing good, so they were struggling. You understand? She also said that she didn't kind of pick Armon Wiggins to be the permanent host. It was out of her hands. It was her choice. And she did feel slighted that the production did not want to get her input and onto whether they should hire Armon or not. She said she had no input, no control. It was out of her control. But she did feel a way that they didn't ask her how she felt. Okay, at least she was honest about that. And, she talked to Armon about that and they cleared that up. So like I said, with this whole Claudia interview with Carlos King, I feel like she was really just trying to throw Al Reynolds under the bus without saying his name, but just saying that, he's not this person that he appeared to be, even though he appears to be the innocent one, playing the victim, just because he's not talking and being outspoken like me and Armon. But, nevertheless, he's very nasty, he's very tedious, and he can be very petty, but he just does it in a sneaky way. Okay, he does it in a condescending manner that you have to kind of catch him at the right time in the right place, basically, when it comes down to Al. And you can tell Al knows how to play the game. Remember, Al is not going to tarnish and smear his image with a show, even though, like I said, he was getting paid a decent amount of money. But see, Al have bigger fish to fry. He wants to move up the ladder when it comes down to Hollywood and certain TV production spaces. So he's not going to get down with the nitty gritty and get just nasty and gutter like Armon Wiggins. He probably could have said some demeaning, nasty things, but that's above Al, you know what I'm saying, reputation and his pay grade, he's just not going to do it, which I knew because you can tell how Al move. He's just not going to give you that, diva. Okay, that diva gate, he's just not going to do it. Maybe he might do it in certain spaces or certain, parties or organizations or when he or personal friends, he may come off a certain way. But when it come down to Hollywood, the cameras and the lights and production, he's going to appear professional. But nevertheless, I do think that Al started a lot of this mess. I do think that, Al was talking with Funky Dineva, and he could have been the reason why Funky Dineva and Claudia fell out in the beginning when he departed the show. And I think Claudia found out that Al probably said a lot of things behind her back to Funky Dineva to give Funky Dineva a certain impression about Claudia. So I do think that Al is a common denominator when it comes down to, the falling out between, ex co-host and the current co-host. I think he was definitely spinning the wheel. Okay, he was spinning the cheese wheel and just getting the mess going. I don't think it was intentional. Maybe he felt like, okay, let me just throw some dirt on this person so I can get them to open up and tell me their business and their tea. I don't know what the motive was. I don't know what the intentions was. But like I said, what I'm getting from this is that Al, started a lot of this stuff in Foxhole. Like he's the common number. That's what I'm getting from this. But again, Al knows how to still remain in contact and be professional. You know what I'm saying? And this is what Armon should have done. Armon should have done this once he was done with Foxhole, if he didn't want to renew his contract and drag Al Reynolds to hell. If that's what you wanted to do. Or on your station head or on your YouTube. But you don't do this stuff while you're still in contract. And then also, Claudia also admitted that when Armon did the Al birthday roast, he pre-written what he was going to say. He did reach out to production, but they kind of like brushed it off like, oh no, we don't want to just kind of like read through it. We don't want to go over it. I guess they kind of trust Armon's word or what he might have told them. Like, oh, it's not that bad. They probably trusted his judgment and his word. And like I said, you see, it cost them, the show. That's why you got to fact check whether you in a rush or you don't want to read over it, because this probably could have been avoidable and preventable if production would have stepped in and kind of read some of the things that he was going to say. And then, mind you, he didn't say Star Jones, but he kind of alluded to, that you don't want us to talk about your wife. That should have not been in there too. So like I said, Claudia, that interview was very interesting. And like I said, it was giving that I'm the victim. I want sympathy. I want people to like me. I want people to not blame me for what's going on. I'm human. I make mistakes. So it's like you've seen the very softer side of Claudia. I mean, she can be very manipulative. I'm pretty sure she's putting on, like I said. But like I said, it's sad that it came down to this because they had good paying jobs for an hour. And you telling me like within that week you're making $5,000. That's pretty good money. You understand that now, like I said, all of it is over. Now it don't blown up and, it's at a point of no return. I personally think, like I said earlier, that TGIF will come back, but it's going to come back with new hosts. And I think they're going to keep Claudia and replace Al and Armon. I watch. They're going to come back. Like she said, she's trying to work, she's trying to save it. So like I said, when she's saying she's trying to save it on the Carlos King interview, that means she's probably trying to get other potential, hosts to kind of like, just revamp the whole TGIF and bring some new hosts, get rid of Armon and Al. And I think it'll work out. I think it will work out. But that's all I gotta say, y'all. Like I said, here we go again. And like I said, at least, we'll be done talking about this. Like I said, I gotta hear Claudia's final response to this. And I gotta hear Wiggins basically drag Al and probably call him every name in the book, probably on his station head. I'm not sure if he's gonna say a lot on YouTube. I don't think Al is probably going to get very gutter and disrespectful and mouthy because, like I said, he got a lot to lose. Armon has nothing to lose. Armon is a blogger. Like I said, he just well connected and known in certain spaces with the female rap girls. So, like I said, Armon really ain't got much to lose. Al do and Claudia do. So, like I said, Claudia is going to probably address this, but in a nice way, without throwing Al under the bus because she don't want to ruin her reputation and her image because she's trying to get other work done in Hollywood. So, most likely Armon going to be the fall person and he's going to, explode. He's going to go off and he's not going to have no F to give because that's his personality. But that's all I got to say, y'all, and I will catch y'all later.